But the thing is, guys, the 49ers have not played anybody. Okay?
They
say
play.
that
Whoa,
about
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
Eagles,
whoa,
too.
whoa! Wait. Hold up. I need to say something. Happy New Year from our friends over at Manscaped. The ball has officially dropped, but that doesn't mean you have to drop the ball on your balls for 2023. If you're still not using Manscaped, now is the time to join the 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. With our exclusive offer, go to manscaped.com and use code DORMDebate for 20% off plus free shipping.
This year, take your package to the next level with their Performance Package 4.0. Inside, you'll find the Signature Lawnmower 4.0,
Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer,
Crop Preserver, and Crop Reviver. To complete the set, Manscaped threw in their Shed Travel Bag and Anti-Chafing Boxer Briefs as free gifts to keep all your goodies stored and comfortable.
If you really want to make 2023 the year to remember, make sure to try out Manscaped's wet goods as well. This includes their ultra premium body wash, 2-in-1 shampoo, and body deodorant. These products are the absolute perfect follow-up after your New Year's gym session.
Get 20% off and free shipping when you use the code DORMDebate at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com when you use the code DORMDebate. Time to feel sexy and free this 2023 with Manscaped. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dorm Debate podcast. Super Wild Card weekend is now over. We are on to the divisional round, one step closer to the main event, the Super Bowl, February 12th. Now I want to give quick shout outs to everyone who joined our live last week. We went live on Saturday for the Chargers and Jags game for the first half. And people like Aiden, Haji, Nathan, a couple other guys I can't remember, but off the top of my head, those people that came in and hung out with us for the first half, I was very excited. I said a lot of things about the Chargers, and you guys probably all saw that. And I'm in shambles now. As you can see, I'm repping the Bills and I'm repping the Bengals. So I'm lost right now. I don't know what to do with myself, and it's going to take a while for me to get over that loss. But let's forget about that right now, because we're moving on. We're moving on to the divisional round, someplace that the Chargers haven't been in a long time. And I want to give one more shout out to Caleb, because Caleb, yet again, I feel like this is deja vu every year, has another perfect first round bracket. Caleb, how do you keep doing this? You say you're bad at it, and yet you keep doing this.
I wish I could tell you the secret. I mean, maybe some simulations on Madden give me some help, but as far as that little gut feeling here and there, bias towards the Eagles is always a good thing. But outside of that, who knows? Who knows? Because I listened to last week's podcast, I was not confident.
Yeah, I know. Which John said that's a good thing. Usually when you're not confident, you ace it all. So
yeah, it's like taking
that's
a
what
test
happened.
when you're like, oh, I did terrible, and it's like, oh, you actually you aced it. But
that's like those kids that are like, oh, what? There's a test today? Oh my God, I had no idea. And then they like get 100. It's like,
if only I could apply that to fantasy.
Yeah, those people in the track race that act like, hey, I'm not feeling well, and then burn everybody. Yeah.
Just in case they lose.
Yeah.
But I knew it was going to be cool because either me or John, shout out John, it was one of us was going to walk away with a perfect one. So yeah, sweet.
It was close.
It all comes down to the winner. So
yeah, and all our winners are
exactly.
eligible.
That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, all our winners are still possible. So
our Super Bowl matchups are still in play as well.
Yep.
Right? We have winner and the matchup. So
yeah.
Let's go on to the matchups. We're going to go in order of the day and the time. So the first game is on Saturday, and that's the Jaguars versus Chiefs. Now, one stat that we said on the live, I think Jonathan and John both had it. I think Aiden brought it up. Trevor Lawrence hasn't lost on Saturday.
Never.
And even down 27, he still won on
Still didn't
freaking
lose.
Saturday, and it's so annoying, and I really hate that stat because I hate hearing it. And it's going to end this week For me, I'm going to say it's going to end this week, and it may be my Chargers bias, and I'm still holding the grudge over the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I'm pretty confident that the Jaguars season will end on Saturday. What do you guys think?
I'm not laughing because of the take. I'm laughing just because it reminds me of the live stream where you said a lot of similar things about your Chargers. Not to rub it in. You sure? It's not biased.
I was talking a lot. But I'm not. This is one of the worst losses I've ever witnessed as a Chargers fan in a very long time. So
it sucks. It's what you were saying, though. It's what you kind of alluded to, as a Chargers fan, right?
It's typical stuff, It's just how it is. But look, Trevor Lawrence, first playoff matchup, and he gets the win instead of Herbert. So good for him. But I don't know. I think it ends tonight. Jonathan, what are your thoughts?
I think it ends this week. Yeah, I think it ends Saturday as well. I mean, look. Not to linger on that game, but the Chargers made a mistake. They fired their offensive coordinator and quarterback coach.
You think? Wait. You think that's a mistake?
They should have fired the defensive mind, the so-called defensive mind. Brandon Staley should have been gone. He should have been gone. Because no coach, I've never heard of that. That means you suck. You allow your team to lose after winning 27-0 after halftime. Your team's leading 27-0. You lost when you come back. Nobody's ever heard of that. Rex Ryan said this the other day. Brandon Staley is disrespectful to the game. It's been going on all season. He's trying to go for the fourth down and stuff and trying to be creative and stuff. If you can't hold the lead when you're leading by 27 points, that's an issue. You should be gone. They shouldn't trust you anymore. Do you think you can win a Super Bowl with Brandon Staley? No, it's not going to happen. Chargers will never win a Super Bowl with this guy as the coach. Why didn't they fire him? They fired the offensive coordinator. Well, they scored 27 points. That's not bad.
No, the offensive coordinator should still be gone. I mean, did you see the plays he was calling when they were up?
Wait. They didn't score 5 points. They scored 27 points. What else do you want them to do?
In the second half, you scored 3 points in one half?
Well, they scored it all in the first half. It's not a big deal. Defense, do your job. Do your job.
No, you have to hold the ball a little bit. If you keep getting 3 and outs, your defense is going to be on the field all the time. He ran it first down, ran it second down, third down, do a 5-yard pass, and then punted every time.
But I mean, 27 points in the NFL. What do you want? Defense, Brandon Staley, defensive mind.
Yes, I agree with you. I think they should both be fired. I think
they all suck.
You're not going to win a Super Bowl with Staley.
Yeah,
it's just frustrating. It's frustrating just thinking about it. He's there. He still has a job, and they fired the offensive coordinator. I'll be annoyed. Anyways, I agree. Chiefs will end. Chiefs,
Jonathan,
Andy Reid is smart.
Do you think that the Chargers would have won that game if they had Mike Williams?
No.
Can we please just?
Anyways, so they probably wouldn't have won. They probably would have won. Again, now in the NFL, coaches get exposed. So I love the playoffs. Coaches get exposed. The good ones rise. The bad ones, get exposed. Like Brandon Staley. Doug Peterson, he's good. Okay, obviously, I told y'all after he got fired, I was like, the Eagles are so stupid for firing Doug Peterson. Nick Sirianni, they can argue he's good since he's far deep in the playoffs, but I still pick Doug Peterson over anybody, or not over anybody, but over Nick Sirianni for sure any day. Why? This guy understands the game. Trevor Lawrence played a heck of a game coming back in the second half, but you give that credit to Doug Peterson, not only for motivating his team, but calling the right plays. This guy methodically allowed his team to come back. And it just showed how better of a coach Doug Peterson is than Brandon Staley. It shows that Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl. Y'all saw that. This is a Super Bowl winning coach compared to somebody that's never going to win the Super Bowl. That's what you
got to remember. Staley is very young, and it's his first head coaching job.
If you're young, to sit on the sideline or be an assistant. We don't have time for that. People are trying to win now. Justin Herbert, you're wasting his talent. If I was Justin Herbert, I'd be pissed.
He did
Herbert
make the
should be pissed.
Make the playoffs. Well, you have Justin Herbert. You should do better than make the playoffs.
Eckler, Keenan Allen, Derwin James,
Keenan Allen. That's ridiculous.
Khalil Mack, Bosa.
Yeah, but all those players didn't perform in the playoffs as well. Like, it was a total team loss.
They scored 27 points. What else do you want them to do? 30 points.
They needed to score more than the other team to win. It's like, it was a whole blunder team effort. But what about Jacksonville?
Yeah, Jacksonville. Again, Doug Peterson. He's the key.
Yeah, but I think they're going to lose against the
Chiefs. I think they're going to lose, but it's not going to be as bad as people think. It's not going to be bad if people think. Chiefs can score points, yes, but their defense tends to struggle and sometimes choke here and there. Doug Peterson is a guy that can find the weaknesses in the defense and expose it, and it could happen. It could happen. So I'm not going to say this is going to be blowout. It's going to be a good game, I think.
Sorry, I was just looking up the run stats because how could they? Wasn't there a weird they didn't run it much, the Chargers in the second half, right? Like John, you alluded to.
They're 30th in run.
But it was in that game
not very good.
7 times or something. I was just trying to confirm it just now, but
because our offensive line sucks and Eckler's not really a running back, but
dude,
it is what it is. They suck. But either way, fuck the Chargers. Can we move on, please?
One more thing.
God,
one more thing.
damn it.
I want. Hey, they fired the quarterback coach. You said, Jonathan.
Yeah.
What did he do on that day? That warrant. Herbert's good. Why him? Okay. I don't know the details, but the offensive coordinator, sure. I don't know. But I did talk about on the live stream they should have scored more. But why are you firing them? What did the quarterback coach do on that day?
What did he do?
Got caught the Jaguars quarterback coach. You know what I mean? All right. But I talked about it in the live stream, which it just kind of, as an Eagles fan, I don't know if I agree with everything you said about Doug Peterson, but since the Jaguars have got him, I said he's a great coach. I still believe he's a great coach. And same with Andy Reid. The Eagles I think those are two coaches that are historically great. Andy Reid much more just because he has a legacy and a lot of time in the league. But I talked about in the live stream how Doug Peterson's style is aggressive. And I think in the first, we was 4th and 7, we were talking about it. I think it was a little too much in that moment. He should have gotten the field goal, but overall, you saw that style clash with the more conservative style of Staley, and I think that's something that if you got a guy like Herbert and a team like the Chargers, that's like Jared, not to use your word, Jared, but a blunder. You could argue the Jaguars have less powerful weapons, and I think they were more aggressive, and that culture just goes into every aspect of the team. And I saw that with the Eagles, and I think both those coaches, Reid and Peterson, great coaches, and I think with the time with the Eagles, there was just a point where it was good for them to take a step away from the Philly franchise and go to somewhere else, and they were still great coaches. So Jaguars are lucky. We talked about this at the beginning of the year, man. Are they going to beat the Chiefs to bring it back to Saturday? I wouldn't. I say I'm tempted. But I'm thinking the Chiefs. I'm still staying.
You don't have to pick now. But
the bracket's out, and my bracket's
bracket's out. So you had the perfect bracket, so it's gonna be Chiefs. But
I did have the Chiefs advancing, and I talked about it. After last week's performance, you're a little inspired if you're a Jaguars fan, and there's part of me that really believes that they got the potential for an upset, And the other part of it is schematically. That I believe that Doug Peterson was with Andy Reid for a while. So then I think you might just come into a brawl that I think in a lot of ways Peterson might be more aggressive. And when you gamble like that, sometimes you win. And against the Chiefs, sometimes you lose. But
was Doug with the Chiefs or with the Eagles?
I believe with the Chiefs. He was a coordinator on the Chiefs that when the Eagles picked him up. I believe so. But he was part of that. You look at the Andy Reid coaching tree, he's one of those. It's like Andy Reid, Sean McVay, those guys have so many they attract such great talent that goes to other parts of the league. But that's a part that makes me look at that matchup, and I'm like, on paper, Chiefs are better in every way, but I don't know. The Jaguars just, might be able to do something.
Yeah, obviously these teams played already in Kansas City earlier in the year. The Chiefs ended up winning 27-17, and I had the Chiefs in my bracket. I had this matchup, and I had the Chiefs winning, but I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think.
I agree.
I'd be probably most confident in this game than any of the others in picking the Chiefs to win, but I think it's going to be closer than people think. Vegas right now has it plus 8.5 for the Jags. It'd be hard for me to believe that the Chiefs are going to win by more than one score. Peterson, Lawrence, they're not going to give up. Lawrence threw 4 interceptions in one half, and he still kept firing the ball and trying to come back. So they're not going to give up. If they're down 2 scores with 3 minutes left, they're going to try their hardest. So I think this is going to be a close game. I think the Chiefs will end up coming out on top, but it's going to be a great game to watch.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, if Trevor Lawrence throws 4 interceptions at half, there's no chance they're catching the Chiefs.
No.
They got lucky with the Chargers. Chiefs aren't going to do that. But I will say that Andy Reid also blew a 28 point lead in the playoffs. So it's not like all great coaches don't do this.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the Chiefs,
The Colts, 2013.
The Colts.
well, like yeah,
Wait,
like
who was the quarterback? Who was the quarterback for Colts?
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
That was one of the
Andrew
biggest comebacks too. But
Yeah.
no, the Chiefs. I mean, in the last few years, and even this season, there have been weird scenarios. As good as they have been, and as cool as Mahomes has been, like there's a couple games where like it shouldn't be this close, or they're not playing quite as well.
It takes them a while.
Yeah,
You know?
they
like
finish
the Texans.
Strong. They finish strong. Yeah.
Texans,
so, I mean, who
they
knows?
won in overtime. I mean, but the
Yeah.
thing is, I mean, the Chiefs, like other than Kelsey, they haven't been amazing. But then at the same time, you think Andy Reid, Mahomes with a bye, it's almost impossible to stop them.
Yeah,
after that.
it's like
Wait.
guys like McKinnon and Tony, like
Yeah.
just randomly they could have a day, and it's
Right.
like that's the potential for them to. You have these role players that could pop off.
Yeah, and Smith Schuster, right, on the Chiefs.
Yep, Juju.
Yeah. What?
there's
Did
there's
the
a lot of options for them.
Did the starters play in the last week of the Chiefs, or they've been? Because my concern is that
Yeah,
they
they
rested
needed-
too much.
No, they needed to start their starters against
Okay.
the Raiders to get the number 1 bye. So.
Okay. So that's some of the. There's been debate. I don't think any team will tell you they don't want the bye, but some teams have talked about like if you rest too long, you do get rusty as a team. So it's just an interesting thought.
Well, speaking of rust and rest, the Eagles are the next game, Saturday primetime against a division rival in John's Giants. Caleb's Eagles and John's Giants go at it in the divisional round. Now, the Eagles obviously had the bye week, and then the Giants came off a great win in Minnesota. I was shocked by that win, especially by Saquon Barkley. I mean, I thought after a full season of them running him into the ground that he'd be beat up, tired. He has a motor like I couldn't believe it. He was just had such a burst of speed, being able to hit gaps at tremendous speeds. He was awesome. He was incredible, and I was very, very shocked by his performance in an away game too for a playoff game in Minnesota. Giants Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles on this one. I had the Eagles versus Cowboys, and I wanted that matchup. I really did. Like this postseason, I felt
Still possible.
I mean, this regular season, we were deprived of Dak versus Hurts, and
It's still
I
potentially
wanted
It's
it.
possible.
Yeah, it's
Still
still possible.
No,
Very, very possible.
no, unfortunately. But
You're-
yeah, in this game, I got the Eagles, but the Giants, they shut me up. Like they're for real. Daniel Jones played an amazing game. Barkley played an amazing game. Like I'm shocked. Like I really am just like speechless. I don't really know what to think of Daniel Jones right now, but heck of a game. I think the first player in playoff history to have 300 passing yards and like 100 rushing or
He
something
was
like
the
that.
third player in NFL postseason history with 300 passing yards and 70 rushing yards in a game. The first two was
Ridiculous.
Steve Young and Lamar Jackson.
That's good company. John,
That's crazy.
throughout the year, I've been like, I've implored you. I'm curious, how do you still feel about Daniel Jones? Because as an Eagles fan, I'm not worried about our quarterback situation, but I'm like,
Right.
I've been a little surprised how much you've disliked him. How has your feelings changed?
They have.
Okay.
I mean, to start the season, I really didn't like Daniel Jones. He turned the ball over way too much last year, but Daboll has really done a great job. Daboll knows how to coach a quarterback. We saw what he did with Josh Allen as the offensive coordinator in Buffalo. And the good thing that I have faith in Daboll with is getting a receiver. I'm hoping in this offseason, we're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. I mean, it's not going to happen, but we're getting good playoff experience. We won a playoff game. We're going to play against the Eagles, might win that game, but we're getting that experience, and you need a top receiver to actually win in this league. I mean, we actually did just beat the Vikings who have Jefferson, but you really need a top receiver, and I'm hoping the Giants go and get that, because what Daboll saw with Josh Allen is that in his second year, they got Diggs, and he really excelled. So I do like Daniel Jones. I mean, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but I'm actually happy with him, and I think we should sign him and Barkley to a longer deal.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Let me read you guys a stat actually about Daniel Jones.
Okay.
He led the NFL in on-target passes, 81%.
Wow.
81%.
Wow.
He led the NFL this season. Not only that,
with practice squad receivers.
Yes, exactly. Not
Interesting.
only that, he posted the third highest quarterback rating at 119.4 this season on throws that are 20 plus yards.
Okay, nice.
So that's pretty good.
I was like, check downs, you might have really good accuracy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like John said, I think a lot of that credit goes to Brian Dable. And to sum this up, or to conclude this, I think the Giants are going to upset the Eagles because of the coaching. Again, Brian Dable is a better coach than Nick Sirianni, and it's going to show in the playoffs. That's what the playoffs do. They expose the coaches. They show who the real coaches are.
Yeah.
This is going to be a close game. You're going to need the tactical thinking. Who can exploit the weaknesses in both defenses? Dabble's going to be able to do it, and he's going to have Daniel Jones to execute it. Saquon was running hard; he's running great, so they have a great running game. John said the receivers aren't great, but they can get the job done, and I think they can. I think they can do pretty well against the Eagles. The Eagles have a great team. Again, it's going to be a close game, but I just think coaching matters. Coaching in the playoffs really matters, and I think Dable is going to find a way to exploit the Eagles offense or Eagles defense. And so I'm picking the Giants to win. But yeah, I was very impressed by the Giants win. The Eagles have been, resting a little bit. I truly believe that Hurts still has a little sprained shoulder, and you're going to see it in the game. And so that may play a role. But the Giants are pretty legit, so I think they're going to win this game.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I did see that the NFL Network, Mike Garafolo, I think it was, said that Hurts is not 100%. So, I mean, Caleb, how does that worry you at all?
Yeah, certainly. The fact that he played in the last game and we won shows how important he is to the team. We talked about this, like him adding a run ability, his RPO. There's the whole scheme of what the Eagles does. He lifts up the whole team just by him being there. Not to say Gardner Minshew's a chump, but like just having Hurts in, Pat McAfee talked about, like just having Hurts like fake a handoff pulls the safety in, which opens up a bunch of stuff for Brown and Smith. And that's why I alluded to, like, maybe in hindsight, had the Eagles won the first game with Gardner Minshew and we've been resting starters for a month, we'd be getting, not a month, but weeks, you'd be getting a lot of rust. But in the case of having a bye and the Eagles getting it in the last game, shows how important Hurts is. Not to say if we put Minshew in there that's life's over. It's like I'd rather have a backup that you might get something really special out of, as I've said. But I think this extra bye week was a week they've talked about to get the fundamentals, like kind of not play some smart football in terms of getting back to the basics of what really works, but also gives our, not just Hurts, but I think Johnson, some of our best guys, an extra week of rest. So, the year we won the Super Bowl, we had so many backups. Obviously Nick Foles is the biggest, but we were the most injured team of all time going into that series. So it's like having a little extra week and some of those guys are still on the team, I think is going to help us. Even if he's not 100%, I don't think any player is 100%. You're sore and banged up throughout the season. And he was, assuming he wasn't 100% when he played in his last game, I think he's going to be a little better, a little more confident, because he did look a little rusty. But even at not 100%, we were able to pull off the win. And so I think that extra week's going to be crucial. Now, that being said, I know my bracket was accurate up until this point, and I do have the Eagles beating the Giants. I still stand by it, but NFC beast this year. I think Giants Eagles is going to be a brawl. I think the Giants have showed that they're going to punch the Eagles in the teeth, and I think you'll see a lot of media pundits like kind of pick the underdog here, which are the Giants, and I don't think that's so out of the box. We've said this all year. Healthy Daniel Jones who doesn't turn over and a healthy Saquon Barkley makes the Giants scary. And we saw that. A part of me was a little, I know I predicted the Giants beating them, but a part of me was a little sad that the Vikings were who we thought they were. Despite the record, there was, I had a little part of me that was
thought
like,
they were.
I was like, a little part of me was like, could Kirk Cousins like surprise us, and the team just elevate above it. But, Giants showed up to play. And that's, like you guys said, a testament to Dayball. I like Daniel Jones. I haven't been as off the bandwagon. I'm not, as an Eagles fan, I don't really care too much, but his run ability and his certain flashes of greatness, I'm not, it showed up in the playoff game. And when you have a healthy Barkley and he doesn't have to, and Daniel Jones doesn't have to carry the whole team, and neither does Barkley. Those two guys, like John said, maybe you want to sign them because it makes some interesting football. And the Eagles are going to, I think we're going to have a lot of fun, but a lot of struggle against Barkley, containing Daniel Jones. But I think fundamentally, I do think the Eagles are a better team in a lot of ways on the defensive pressure. Two receivers are going to make the difference. Like I think as good as Saquon Barkley is, if the Eagles, playing from behind doesn't complement the run game as much, and if the Giants are in that position. But like I said, I think they're going to, one of the teams is going to punch the other in the mouth, and they're going to it's going to be a brawl. I do still
Caleb,
stand by the Eagles winning over.
The Eagles are not playing their best football right now. The last game of the season, they started their starters. They needed to win the game because if the Cowboys beat the Commanders, then the Eagles wouldn't have got the bye. So isn't it a little embarrassing that the Giants didn't even play one starter in that game and only lost by 6 when you guys were trying really hard? Hurts doesn't look right. You guys, when you were really trying against our second starters, we only lost by 6. And in our first matchup, you put up 48 points on us, on our starters, and Miles Sanders had 17 carries for 144 yards. But in the second game, with our second team, he had 11 carries for 33 yards, and Hurts had 9 carries for 13 yards. So they're not playing their best football right now.
I think you're right to have concern for it. It was a unique. I was thinking about this too, and I think it was a unique psychological thing because you lose the game as the Eagles, you're still in the playoffs, Yeah, and we just
Still
got
in the
Hurts
playoffs,
back.
but the 1-5 is
it was also
it was
a late touchdown by Galladay. Like it was gonna be like 13, but then Galladay had like a one-hand catch. So it's like,
but still,
they weren't really trying at that late game.
You beat our starters
that's
48-22, but then
right,
our
so
backups, you don't.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but Jared has an interesting point too, and that stat might be. I think it's. I mean, if anything, it's a game to get the rust a little more off of Hurts coming back for his first game, and that it was backups. Maybe that's if anything, Hurts has healed a little more, and it also changes a lot of the schematics. Like I don't think you're going to reach deep into the bags of plays in a game like that. So if it's close because of that, I think it's not because the Eagles thought it's going to be an easy win. I think even the backups on a professional team are going to be good. I think it just came down to some of the schematics. I think the first game might be more reflective of what might happen because I got to disagree with you, Jonathan. Not to pull you into this, but I like a lot of reports said Sirianni was kind of not a great coach, but I've seen him go up against teams, from the Vikings, Cowboys, Giants, and the Eagles have been able to compete with some good teams that are still in the playoffs. So I think it's just going to be a shootout, and it's going to come down to the better. As the Eagles are so well rounded that I think even with the rust that you mentioned, John, I'm going to go with the Eagles on this one because I think it's in a brawl. I think the Eagles will come out on top still, kind of wear you down, especially with that defensive line. The week of rest, I think it's going to show. But division games, who knows? And the Giants been underdogs in the playoffs before, right? So we'll see. I'm excited for this football.
Yeah, and one thing to note, about injuries, he may not get as much reps. They say mental reps and stuff, but he's not going to get as much physical reps, and that's going to, compared to somebody else on the other side, Daniel Jones getting all the reps, he's fully healthy, he's going to be ready for the game, he's going to be confident, but Hurts may have to get used to game speed a little bit, because he doesn't practice all week, because they're probably going to rest him, not going to practice him much just to be safe.
He's practicing.
Not fully though.
I could see the game starting
he doesn't want to hurt the arm, so they're going to be very cautious with him.
Yeah.
So that's going to play a role.
Not to.
Daniel Jones is going to.
You got to be careful. Yeah, you don't want to hurt Hurts. He's the guy. He's the game. He's the team.
Yeah,
Jared, you were saying.
But to be clear, the way the Giants have to win, Barkley has to have a good game.
Oh yeah, yep.
Because the Eagles, I agree with Caleb. The Eagles, front line is pretty good. I think they had 70 sacks this season, like a record.
I don't think Lane Johnson has allowed a sack. It was one of our.
Yeah, on the other side.
Yeah,
Lane Johnson hasn't allowed a sack either.
Yeah.
So on the other side, so they have a good team all around.
Turnovers.
Giants. Barkley has to have a good game for Giants to win. If he doesn't play good, then it's gonna be tough. But yeah, I still think Giants are gonna win.
Okay, Jared, you were saying.
All right. I think this might be the first playoff game with two quarterbacks that have over 100 yards rushing.
I'm excited.
I could see if Hurts isn't 100%, which it says he isn't, but I think he's still going to be fine. He's still going to throw. It's playoffs. He's not going to just be like, my arm hurts. But I think he's going to rush a little bit more because maybe, he doesn't want to pass and throw the arm out. So he's going to rush a lot more. And I think Daniel Jones, the key to them winning games is him rushing the ball. If he's not rushing as much,
that's part of their...
then they're going to commit to Barkley, and then it's not going to work. So he has to rush for their playmaking to work.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of pressure, so he's going to have to.
It's possible they could have like each 100 yards rushing, which would be really funny to see. Like to have Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts being like the lead rushers.
Yeah.
But
I wonder what
overall I still think Eagles. I think especially in Philly. This game's outside now. I know they went to Minnesota and they won, but as a dome, you got to fight the weather here. Fight the weather, fight the crowd. Yeah, Philly crowd, you don't mess around with them. So especially when it's a divisional rival. So, but I will say it is hard to beat a team 3 times in a season.
It is.
Yeah, it is very hard. So that's another thing that comes into play. But overall, I got the Eagles. So let's move on quick to the AFC. And the first game on Sunday is the Bengals and Bills. I got the Bengals jersey. I got the Bills hat.
Game of the week, in my opinion.
Game of the week. Because it's got my champion and your champion.
Yeah, one of us is going to be out.
Okay.
One of us is going to be sad.
That's funny.
So it's a +5 spread, which, John, you said that's a little too high.
Yeah, that's disrespect. Are you kidding me?
They
think the Bengals are going to lose by more than a field goal? Are you crazy?
Oh wait, the Buffalo Bills.
They're favored by 5. They think the
Buffalo Bills are favored.
Yeah, they think the Bengals are going to lose by 5.
That's a funny.
I thought it was a little.
They're also in Buffalo.
No, yeah.
The Bengals are going to win this game for sure.
The Bengals are going to win. Yeah.
Did you see how Josh Allen played the other day?
Yeah.
Did you see how Joe Burrow played?
The Bills will be lucky if they don't, get beat by 10.
Yeah, they're lucky if they keep it within 1 score. If they keep it within 1 score, they should be happy. They should go on and be like, good season.
Yeah, great season. Exactly.
Wow. Well, I was gonna say that these teams last week, Bengals played the Ravens and they barely beat the Ravens, and the Bills played the Dolphins and they barely beat the Dolphins. two teams that we all thought, oh my God, they're gonna crush them.
Well,
and the Ravens always play the Bengals close.
Exactly. And the Ravens had a better team.
Yeah, Ravens are way better. The Ravens would annihilate the Dolphins right now.
Yeah. The Ravens had a pretty good team. Even though I agree, the Ravens they could have won that one, but I don't want to get into it because it kind of pisses me off because Ravens should have won that one. But
Ravens should have won that one. Okay.
Yeah, but no, still I think Ravens were better competitor than the Dolphins. Skylar Thompson, third string. I said in the chat, in our group chat, I said, Skylar Thompson may be better than Teddy Bridgewater. I went back and watched the full game. No,
you don't think so?
You rewatched
if they had somebody
film?
better, I would watch the film. I was like, wait, if they had a quarterback that was a little bit better than Skylar Thompson, Dolphins would have beat the Bills. Skylar Thompson played so bad, but they still were so close.
You think it was a testament to coaching how close? Because I was a little surprised how competitive. Against the Bills. I know you don't like the Bills, but was that a testament to Mike McDaniels, what they were doing with? He has to put in a third string quarterback. Do you think?
No, it was honestly Josh Allen making mistakes. He had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. He had an interception returned all the way 60 yards. He had another interception returned 30 yards down to the 10.
Okay.
Allen's just not playing well. I love Allen. I'm rooting for the Bills, but they're not going to win.
They're not going to win. You can tell. It's been happening all season. They just shoot themselves in the foot.
Exactly. They find a way to lose. I just don't know how.
You're right. You're right about that.
You guess.
Yeah, he was right about that.
That's rough. Mm-hmm. That's tough to hear. I think I have the Bills advancing, but yeah, I think even after the game there was a headline. I think Allen himself said as the team, they know they can't play like that if they're going to make it to the Super Bowl this year. That was a headline of someone who said that on the team. So I don't know. But their ceiling is so high, and there's so much emotion that I think fans of people who aren't tied to a team want the Bills, who are in this. I think Jared, you got the Bills or the Bengals? You're wearing both. For our listeners,
well, I have Bills, but
okay.
I think the Bengals Ravens. I think Bills Dolphins. I think it's win in advance. Survive in advance. You forget about this game. It's not gonna affect them going forward. They won't fight the Bengals, won't fight the Bills. It's not like the Bengals are going to come out and only score whatever they scored, 19 points. It's a completely different game, completely different week.
Like, I think we're going to see the best of the best, right? Like, I'm seeing a high-scoring game, in my opinion. I think it's going to be all offense, especially the way the Bills started, giving up, what was it? Did they give up the lead at half?
Yeah.
It was like they gave up a touchdown and like three field goals or something.
They had the lead at half, but then in the third quarter they were down 24-20 at one point.
Yeah, like I just don't see that happening. I think it was a little bit of a shock for the Bills, or a little like fire of like, okay, hang on, like we are in the playoffs. Even a team like the Dolphins is going to throw their best at us and play well. Like they're not just going to lay down and die because they have a third string. So, and same with the Bengals. The Bengals came out and they had to play Hundley, and maybe they underestimated him, and they're like, oh crap, like that kind of woke us up a little bit. I'm glad we won. Like it's better to learn in a win than it is to learn in a loss. So both these teams are going to be awake, live, ready to go from the moment that ball kicks off. So I think we're going to see some of the best football in this game. But yeah, I think I got Bills still. I still believe in them. I think they have that little bit of the edge that you need to win a game like this, and a game to win going all the way to the Super Bowl. So
just to add one more thing quickly, I know in my bracket I had the Bills, and I think so. We're Jared and me are the Bills. John and Jonathan are going Bengals for this game.
If you couldn't tell,
yeah. I guess just to summarize it,
we're still going with our brackets.
Yeah. I'm curious what you guys think, because the way I had this bracket, and I still stand by the Bills winning. After seeing the games, though, it almost looks like two great teams with pretty glaring weaknesses. Like they both struggled against like the
what's the
Ravens,
Bengals'
Dolphins.
weakness?
Well, the
run game.
Game and protecting the quarterback.
The run game.
Their run game is better than the.
How many times did Joe Burrow get sacked this season? That was we talked about this weeks
ago. But it's better than last season.
It is better, but it was super bad before, and they made it to the Super Bowl. But
I think with the Ravens game, the Ravens are just good.
The Ravens are just solid.
They're like mega rivals, right? Like that's their biggest. Like they hate each other. Is what a lot of the media. So fair enough. That was like maybe what you might see Eagles. Well, you might see Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants.
But how did the Bills let up 31 points with Mostert out? They had Skylar Thompson. They couldn't really run it. Thompson was throwing it.
Well,
Waddle even missed a big catch.
Well, Waddle dropped. Yeah, he dropped many catches.
Yeah, well, it's like
I think it's. I was gonna say it's a matter of like underestimating your opponent, and then you get caught back against the wall, and you're like, "Crap!" Like
he was underestimating. They were shooting themselves in the foot.
But when you look at this game, okay, both teams, how they're going to score points is passing, right? Both teams pass more than they run, right? Who has the better pass defense? The Bengals by far. It's not even close. Their opponent completion percentage.
They still got
Jared,
Eli
you
Apple,
said it
though.
yourself.
They still got Eli Apple though. He always gets burnt, man. Every game. At least once.
The way I look at it is if the Bills can survive against Hill and Waddle, I think. I mean, what do you got? You think Hill and Waddle respectively?
It's Skylar Thompson, though.
It's Thompson.
It's Burrow with Chase and
Higgins. Just receivers.
A quarterback that was just a little bit better.
He was putting it on the.
He put it on Waddle, and Waddle dropped it. You think Chase is going to drop that?
Chase not going to drop.
He was.
What do you mean? Wait.
What?
You talking about Thompson?
He was last week.
Who?
Like, how many drops did the Dolphins have with Thompson? Like that's not a reflection on Thompson. That was right.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm saying if it was Chase and Higgins, you really think they would do it?
Chase was dropping a lot of balls in the Ravens. He dropped a couple slants. Like it just happens. Like I think those games are just like, oh shoot, like we're in the playoffs. Like let's wake up a little bit. But it's the second round. It's divisional round. Like they're both awake. They're ready to go. Like there's no one's gonna be playing exactly like they played against the Ravens or played against the Dolphins. They're going to be ready to go.
All right,
so,
how much do you think home field takes into account?
Yeah.
A lot. I think same with the Eagles, a lot. It's huge. It's like it gives it that little bit of an edge that you need because these teams are so close that you're looking for the different edges, and Buffalo, Philly being at home, there's a little bit of an edge to Buffalo. There's a little bit of an advantage that goes to Buffalo. So
how do you know these teams are so close? Again, I think the Bills are gonna.
They're 2-3.
Give everybody a surprise. They're
2-3, and their record is like one off.
I can't wait.
The one-off game is when they had to finish.
What more could you want?
They're both when the Bengals and Bills played a couple weeks ago, like the Bengals were clearly dominating up until that point.
Exactly.
It was a done deal. No, I'm not saying it's not going to be. I can see this being a toss-up. I won't be surprised if the Bengals win. I'm not I don't really have a dog in this fight.
Yeah,
but like
this is my closest one.
Yeah,
for
this is
sure.
my
definitely
football
the
brain
close.
is saying if they can survive, even with, I mean, it was Skylar Thompson, but I don't think he played terrible. But if they can survive against Hill and Waddle, then it's possible against Chase and Higgins. And then the Burrow, I think, is a better quarterback. So like you subtract Thompson for Burrow, but Burrow is still getting so much pressure, and I think the Bills can get to him. And with Allen's run game, I think it's just a counterbalance that's why I picked the Bills. But it's a top, like these guys are like play each other, and I think it's going to be a good game. Could go either way, but those like factors, I give a little bit of the edge. That run game with Allen not making mistakes, because that is a downside. You know, you can go back and forth in pros pros and cons, but like also Diggs just shows up too in these games. He's done it with the Vikings and the Bills. It's like, and not to say Chase isn't great, but I don't know if he's quite as a veteran status as Diggs. So it's like, it's going to be interesting because this is how you get to that status though. But I'm still going Bills. That's why I you know, we can agree to disagree, but I think it's going to be a fun game. That's for sure.
One thing with Burrow, I don't think pressure is a huge issue with him. He's good at doing quick releases.
He has a lot of experience.
Getting the ball out. Exactly. Allen, if y'all listen to me, what I've been saying for the past couple years, he leans towards the run anytime he's in trouble. He's not a good thrower. If you guys can't tell, that's why everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's so big, he can run."
Okay,
That's
that
not the point.
I disagree with.
No, the point is he can't. He's not.
Did you see?
He's not confident in his throw.
See the throw to Diggs down to the 5 yard line?
He gets those. I mean, if somebody's wide open, you got to throw it to him.
Wide open.
If you're decent.
Oh,
yeah, he's wide open. He burnt that guy. That's
Davis is also good. We talked about
You
Davis.
still have to make the throw.
But anytime he's in trouble, you saw it. Like, go back and watch it. Anytime he's in trouble, he's like, he gets a little nervous. He tries to run. And,
Okay, Mahomes doesn't.
You can't do that.
Mahomes doesn't. Mahomes always tries to scramble. Is that a problem?
Not really.
What?
I mean,
Mahomes always on the run.
I'm not. Josh Allen doesn't try to scramble to throw. He tries to scramble to actually run.
Is that a problem?
Use his legs.
Is that a problem?
That's the issue.
Why?
That's the issue. It's not going to work. It doesn't work the farther you go in the playoffs. That's not. The good teams know how to stop that. And Dolphins, you know what they're doing? They're spying him. I've got what player was. Y'all saw that? He was spying.
You said that all year.
It wasn't working out well.
Mahomes won a Super Bowl. He scrambles a lot.
Not like that. He doesn't not like that. He scrambles to find somebody open. If you scramble to find somebody open, that's the one thing.
He scrambles
but
like
scramble and actually try to run. To scramble and try to like sneak and run and stuff. That didn't work against the Dolphins. That's why he struggled. Y'all saw that. Somebody was spying on him. If the Bengals do that, he's done.
I don't know. I mean, I trust Allen. I mean, in Kansas City last year, he had like
I can't wait
5
for
or
this game.
6 touchdowns.
This game will shut all the Josh Allen fans. This game will shut him up because he's not that good as you guys think he is, and I can't wait till Bengals prove it.
Okay, you think
fair enough?
Imagine if the Bengals go back and compare that to the Rams this season, right? It'd be so interesting.
Now the league wants Bills, Chiefs. They want
that's
it in
the only
Atlanta.
problem.
So
That's the only thing.
the script was leaked. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, the NFL wants Bills, Chiefs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, the last game on hand.
Okay.
A weird time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. Really weird on Sunday. Cowboys versus 49ers in San Francisco. Jonathan, are you going to the game?
No, I'm not.
Why?
This seems perfect for you, right in your wheelhouse.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, I'd rather watch it at home because I don't want to get I'm sure the annoying 49ers fans and stuff. I was like, no, I don't want to get angry. And also, if Cowboys are winning, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Cowboys fans because we travel well.
Yeah.
But I'm probably not going to.
Y'all traveled super well in Florida. There's so many Cowboys jerseys in Florida.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting.
It was loud. Like when the Cowboys score, it was really loud. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So the spread is 3.5 in favor of the 49ers. And look, in my bracket, personally, I had Cowboys versus the Eagles. So I didn't anticipate this sort of matchup. But the same outcome for me is going to be 49ers. The Cowboys impressed me very much, but not that much. Brady played like Dookie. And and like you said, the Buccaneers should not have been in it. Like I picked the Cowboys. I picked the Cowboys, Jonathan. I picked them because the Buccaneers were so bad. So you don't have to preach to the choir here. It's John you got to talk to. But look, the Cowboys were good and they did as they should. But the 49ers are a completely different beast from the Buccaneers, bro. completely. I don't see a weakness with this team besides, like you say, Purdy. But this guy just keeps showing up every single week and playing amazing. So I don't even see it as a weakness. So 49ers on top as far as the defense goes, as far as McCaffrey being in the playoffs for the first time since like 2017, played amazing. I didn't even factor that in, that like this may be his one shot at winning a Super Bowl. So a lot of factors go into it. But just off of personnel, I got to go with the 49ers.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. The 49ers have more of the flashy names like McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. But the thing is, guys, the 49ers have not played anybody. Okay? Can you tell me the teams that... Yes, I've said it.
They
say
play...
that
Whoa,
about
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
Eagles,
whoa,
too.
whoa, wait, hold up. I need to say something. You said that the Seahawks are going to the NFC Championship. They beat this team 3 times.
Yes.
That's
And
nobody?
I was wrong. Seahawks aren't that great. I like Geno Smith, but Seahawks aren't that great. Maybe my emotion came a little bit for that pick.
Okay, guess who the 49ers beat? They beat the Bucks. There's somebody, right?
No.
Okay, so Cowboys win wasn't impressive then.
I mean, we dominated. That was impressive.
Okay, 49ers dominated 35-7 against the Bucks.
The Bucks aren't good.
So the 49ers beat the Bucks better than you beat the Bucks.
Well, did they?
No,
well,
I mean,
by
it was
spread maybe.
So
Let him have the floor. Let him have the floor.
Well, number one, Tom Brady's better in the playoffs, so he got an extra touchdown.
It's all right.
Number
You're
two-
saying about the 49ers. Go on the 49ers.
Yeah.
The
49ers
Bucks suck. They're done.
49ers haven't played anybody, and the teams that they beat, the great teams that they beat, who? Chargers? Oh, they just got out. They lost. They gave up a 27
Dolphins.
27-0. Dolphins. Oh, Dolphins. They're out in the playoffs. And they after the 49ers game, actually, when they beat them, the next game, who they play? The Chargers. They lost to the Chargers, right?
yeah.
And so, guys, 49ers haven't played anybody. This weekend, this is when you're actually going to see real challenge for Brock Purdy, that rookie. There's only been, 3 or 4 rookies that have went to the NFC Championship or went to the conference championship. Brock Purdy's not gonna be one of them. Cowboys are too good. If the Cowboys played like they played yesterday, nobody in the NFL is gonna beat them. This team is too well-rounded. We have great running backs, both Tony Pollard and Zeke. Dak, when he's throwing dimes like that, and y'all still up tempo. Nobody can stop the up tempo offense. People get tired. We're humans. See what I'm saying? People get tired. I don't care how good you are. You're going to get tired, and that's what happened last night. They got tired. They gave up early. And so the 49ers haven't played anybody. Brock Purdy's in for a real treat. They're going to try to run the ball a lot. I mean, that's their strength. That's the key to them winning. McCaffrey has to have a good game. They're going to probably hand it to Deebo Samuel here and there. So hopefully the Cowboys' rush defense run defense can do good, because they didn't have to worry about that yesterday because the Bucs didn't rush that much. But I still think the Cowboys are going to win. And Brock Purdy, anytime he goes back to throw, Micah Parsons will be right in his face, and he's going to be scared. Ricky, welcome to the NFL. This is the real NFL. This is the real dominant team you haven't faced all year. He's had a 5-6 game easy winning streak against the little Seahawks. Whoa, against the little what teams did he play? Saints.
Raiders.
Raiders.
They beat the Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders.
They
Parsons.
They beat
Cowboys weren't trying that, guys.
Okay.
Now y'all saw it yesterday. Y'all saw how wide open these receivers are. Those are the plays.
Because
that
the
we're
Bucs
saving.
suck.
Hold on. In those games, those are the plays that we're saving.
You forgot how bad the Bucs are. They suck, bro. They are horrible.
Yeah,
That's not a good win. Okay, you beat the Bucs. Anybody does.
So now they suck. See what I'm saying? When we beat the Eagles, we had the back. People were like, "Oh, wait till y'all fight. Wait till y'all face Gardner Minshew and all that." We beat Gardner.
No,
Minshew.
okay, Gardner Minshew doesn't.
Nobody said
Every
that.
game, y'all gotta say every game. There's something.
There's always something with
there's
you.
always
You
something.
always
Yeah.
give an
If we beat
excuse.
the 49ers, they're gonna say, "Oh, he's a rookie." No. I'll keep the same energy.
All right, how
Cowboys
about
will
this?
dominate the 49ers.
I will say the Cowboys deserve it if you win, but there's no chance the Cowboys win this game. It's Brock Purdy. Do you realize what he's doing right now? How are you going to stop McCaffrey and Debo and Kittle and Ayuk and McCaffrey? Did I say him
you
right?
got to remember,
Cowboys are battle tested.
Parsons.
We faced the NFC Beast. We faced the Giants twice. We faced the Eagles
Jared, do you have
twice.
something you want to contribute? What about Parsons?
Parsons is not 100%.
Who?
Just like Micah Parsons is not 100%. You saw him limp off at halftime. He's not fully healthy. Yeah, and he didn't do anything. He's not healthy, man.
He had
I'm just
9
want to let you know.
pressures.
I'm just letting you know. That pressure ain't going to be the same.
No.
He's a good player.
Cowboys.
I'm not going to take away from Jonathan there.
Yeah, Cowboys blitzed like 6 times, and y'all saw how much
6?
pressure that Tom Brady got. Yeah,
Their offensive line is horrible compared to the 49ers.
Oh, now I'm gonna go. Okay, fine.
You know that though. You know that.
Brock Purdy, I'm telling you, when he goes back to throw, he's gonna be scared because he hasn't seen anything like it this season. He hasn't seen anything like Micah Parsons and all these guys coming at him this season. I'm telling you, everybody's in for a huge treat. Cowboys are going to upset the 49ers. 49ers haven't played anybody. That's simple as that. Look at the schedule.
They played the Commanders. They have a good D line.
Commanders.
They beat you.
Really going with the Commanders?
They beat you.
What's the Cowboys' best win?
It was the last game of the season. We all know.
What's the Cowboys' best win? You think?
The best win again? Again NFC Beast. All 3 of us are in the divisional round. I think that's pretty good. Giants, we played them twice. Eagles, we played them twice. I mean, what else do you want? See what I'm saying?
But you didn't face the Eagles fully healthy.
It goes both ways. Interesting, actually, because the Eagles beat the Cowboys with Cooper Rush, right? And then the Cowboys beat the Eagles with Minshew. So we haven't seen both quarterbacks healthy.
The one time you saw the 49ers, you lost.
We dominated the Vikings.
Your best win is the Bengals in week 2.
Okay, Bengals.
Bengals, they don't try in the beginning of the year, though. So
well, the first 2 games of the season don't matter, so nobody tries.
Exactly. Okay. So negate those 2. Yeah.
All right.
No.
No, I think
you guys are gonna. I was saying you guys are gonna be in for a real treat. I'm telling you.
Okay. What's the Cowboys' best part of their offense?
Everything.
It's the run game. Who has the number 1 run defense in the league? It's the 49ers. Oh my gosh.
It's easy to have number 1 if you don't
Dak doesn't have a running game. This is going to be great. I guarantee I'll put so much money on it. Dak throws an interception because when anybody stops Zeke and Pollard, he can't do anything. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, I don't know who to throw to. I don't know what to do.
He does have a history of when. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm worried
if he doesn't
about
have Zeke. Remember when he didn't have Zeke, he throws a lot of picks. He doesn't know what to do when he doesn't have a run game. The play action. Did you see how many times did their plays work on play action? I think every time. That won't work this time. Yeah. It won't work. They won't have a run game. They won't be able to establish the run.
Well, Bosa's healthy.
They'll have a run game.
Right?
Bosa's healthy. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. But
Bosa,
we have a pound for pound running back, Zeke. We have Tony Pollard. He can run the ball. He's a speed running back. We have 2 different types of running backs. Legit. They just have McCaffrey and who else?
Okay, my problem is what if they stop Schultz and Lamb?
They're gonna stop Schultz.
What?
What do you mean stop Schultz?
What if they contain Schultz and contain Lamb? Who else is Dak going to go to?
There's so many options. You can't contain all of them. We have Tony Pollard. We have Zeke. We have T.Y. Hilton. We have CD. We have Schultz. And Dak can use his legs like he did multiple times yesterday. He scored a rushing touchdown. There's so many ways to attack with our offense. And then you add the defense like that. If mark it on the wall. If Brock Purdy, if he goes back to try to throw the ball, he's going to be in for a real treat. And
but you're going to get tired.
Welcome to the NFL,
you're going to get tired. He's not going to be pressured every time.
The Cowboys lead in pressures in the whole NFL. We lead in pressures. We're going to come at you. So he better be ready. I don't think he's ready.
You're also away from home. 4 of your 5 losses are away.
Sneaky.
Well, we played in Tampa yesterday and we dominated them easily.
That's Tampa. They suck.
I guarantee you, a lot of Cowboys fans are going to be at this stadium. So don't you worry about that one. Don't you worry about
that.
Not you. Maybe if you went, they would win.
Let me add my 2 cents real quick because I don't even. It's a passionate subject. I know, and as
this is an Eagles fan talking about the Cowboys. Yes. I want to hear this.
I think we're more open overall to admit that the Buccaneers are not a good team now that they lost. But we also a lot of people picked them because it is Tom Brady in the playoffs.
We only did that because we hate the Cowboys. Oh my gosh! I thought the Cowboys would win. Everybody knew that.
Hey, hats off to you guys! First playoff win away playoff win in 30 years. Like that's
how about that?
Breaking a stigma that follows a franchise.
Another 30 years coming. Another 30 years till the next one.
I like all the stats I've said.
The San Francisco matchup's much different. Buccaneers overall, we know, like, their record shows it. I mean, because they had Brady, I think I could see a lot of people reasonably before the game picking Brady and the Bucs because it is Brady. Like, that is the key there. But we also, like, now that they lost, it is clear that what we knew was true to, like, all along. A little bit like the Vikings. Like, despite the record, despite them being there, the flaws were very apparent. And I think, every team has trade-offs, right? But the 49ers are going to match up really well. That it's almost like part of me thinks Brock Purdy doesn't have to play terrible or make mistakes. It's possible that he could play well and the Cowboys still win. It's more just I'm looking at the Cowboys defense to make an impact more than the 49ers can make a defense. But it's going to come down a little bit to who wants it more, where the ball falls for who. Because if Dak makes interceptions again, as he's done the whole season, regresses again, I think his stats were historic. He's a great quarterback. I like the person of Dak. So the Cowboys quarterback, I can't. But as a human being, I like him a lot. And it's cool how well he did against the Bucs. But we also can admit now that the Bucs were not a great team. And I think that might be a little bit of a false confidence going into the 49ers. Like, Cowboys fans should expect a brawl the way the Eagles are going to brawl for the Giants. Same as next game, because either if it's the Cowboys win, it's going to be either against the Giants or Eagles. And it's like NFC East, who knows, man? Who knows?
And let me tell you,
at this point,
matchup probably better. I'm surprised the spread is that low.
Yeah, with the 8 teams left at this point, if you're still in, you have a pretty legit team. Okay.
Yes.
I don't think any of this. None of this will be blowouts. None of these games will be blowouts. But at the same time, it depends on who makes less mistakes, turnovers. Who's gonna make a mistake.
Hey, what about missed kicks?
I was just gonna say, don't let this come down.
Let me tell you.
Don't let this come down to a field goal.
That's not. Let me tell you. That's how the Cowboys are. There's always something. We won. We dominated yesterday, but we had a kicker miss all his field goals. Next week when we play the 49ers, he's gonna make a record field goal or something. That's the Cowboys.
No, you've had bad luck with kickers in playoffs. Mason Crossbar.
No. Like, look, I again, Brock Purdy's gonna make a mistake. He's a rookie. He's gonna make some mistakes, and that's gonna allow us to win. It's gonna be close. It's whoever makes the less mistakes, and Cowboys aren't gonna make much mistakes.
You think it's more likely Purdy makes a mistake than Prescott?
Yeah. I think Purdy's
last few games.
Purdy hasn't seen a defense like
Dak leads the league in interceptions.
It's gonna be so exciting. Purdy hasn't seen Micah Parsons. He hasn't seen that. Wait till he sees him in his face. Every play, he's gonna be scared. He's gonna try to throw the ball away and all that. He's gonna make mistakes and fumble. That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be exciting to see. Welcome to this is the real NFL. This is the playoffs. The big boys coming out.
If the Cowboys don't run more with Pollard, I think that'll be a mistake. If they keep trying to establish a run game with Zeke, and Zeke's a great player, but I don't think they have trouble admitting that Pollard's the number one now. And I think if y'all are against the rope and try to like feed it to Zeke too much, and it's just not. Just let Pollard, be the one guy, the 1A, and then Zeke be the 1B. But I could see the Cowboys sticking to old ways. I wouldn't want to. I'm a Cowboys fan, which I'm not, but I wouldn't want to see that happen because you're going to need a run game to make that other part of the Dak's run game work. The 49ers on paper have much more star power and than they have Bosa, but I think the matchup better than they did against the Bucs. So I'm still going 49ers, but like the Cowboys have it in them. It's just, dude, it's a kind of win that I think Jerry Jones is very hyped up about against the Bucs, but like this is the 49ers. It's going to be a much more interesting shootout, a little more sophisticated gunslinging. They had Brady, so it's like they're just a more well-rounded team, I think. They're not the Vikings.
No, not at all. One thing, I think both are going to make mistakes. I think Brock Purdy's going to make a mistake. I think Dak's going to make mistakes, but it's how they're going to bounce back. Because Purdy
like that.
Who
started off very bad against the Seahawks. Huh?
Who makes the worst mistake?
Yeah, who makes the worst?
Trevor Lawrence can talk to us about that.
Because Jonathan, like you said, he hadn't faced adversity. He played against the Seahawks, didn't start well at all. Like it was really bad, but not bad enough to where you couldn't come back. Not 27-0 down. But there was a point where at half he was not playing his best ball. And he came back, and then they ended up doing what they were supposed to and
this is what they
steamrolling the
did.
Seahawks.
No,
So-
this is what they did. The offensive, like somebody told the coach or who was calling plays, "What are you doing? Run the dang ball!" And they ran the ball. Just let them do it. And they started running
That's
more.
all
And
the
then after yeah, exactly, all the adjustments, they started running the ball like 90% more. That's what happened. He's getting a lot of credit and stuff, and he's a nice guy, but it's not him. It's a team around him.
Is he
it's all
that
the run.
nice?
No, he's a,
I don't know.
I mean, I don't
it's
know.
a great story. and he's
I
playing
I
well.
like him
Great
as a-
story.
I-
It's an inspiring
I-
story, but he's not that great as people are saying. And we're gonna expose him. Cowboys are gonna expose
I'm not
him.
rooting for his downfall. It's a great story.
Yeah,
He's a
I
great
wish him
player.
well.
but he's
What
also
more
in a
does he need to
system-
do?
Well, he's in a system that we talk about Garoppolo being in, that you kind of just have to be a game manager, and he's doing that exceptionally well for someone third string drafted. Like, I love the story. I'm not rooting for his downfall. I'm not gonna, but I'm like, we know that the 49ers run, like, the system doesn't need the guy to be a Mahomes or someone like Allen, like throw 60 times. So it's not a dig on. But I think Purdy's playing great. It's possible, but we've also talked about how it's more of a game manager role, a little bit more like even Kirk Cousins has to in the Vikings scheme. He has to throw some deep balls to Jefferson, and not that Purdy can't, but it's just a different style of play that is better for a quarterback. I think for a guy like Purdy coming in. So I mean, but that's a strength, not necessarily weakness. It's just different.
Yeah. And for the Cowboys, I know you say it's like a 1-2 punch in the backfield with Zeke, but dude, Zeke's so bad. Like, he's awful. Like, we got to realize that he's a goal line running back, and he got stuffed that one time against the Bucks, and then they had to do a play action for Dak. So even in the playoffs, he couldn't even do his own job, but he's really slow. Like, I don't think a 1-2 punch is the right way to say it. I think it's just Pollard right now, and then giving Pollard
Just
rest.
McCaffrey. It's just McCaffrey right now.
That's interesting.
No, it's not though.
right, who else?
It's Elijah Mitchell. It's
Oh, he's not
Deebo
that good.
Samuel. They put in the backfield.
Deebo Samuel, I wish they put him in the backfield against Cowboys. He's gonna lit up.
They're
think
they're
he-
going
he-
to. You're
oh,
gonna
he's
see it.
gonna.
You're
I can't
gonna
wait.
see it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
thinking
a
about
lot
it.
of weapons. So
You
we'll
can't
see.
do
I
what
mean-
you're doing against these easy teams against the Cowboys. The defense is the real deal, and they're gonna see it.
All right, we'll see. So as we're gonna wrap up here, did we agree on any of these?
I think we
Yeah, we had
all
to-
agreed on Chiefs. That's the only one.
Okay, so we all agreed
Yeah.
on Chiefs, Giants, Eagles. So John, you didn't have this. Did you have this?
Yeah, I had
in
this.
your bracket.
I had this matchup in my bracket.
How do you feel about this one? You still gonna stick with the Eagles?
No,
What,
Giants are going to the NFC Championship.
you
game.
traitor?
Yeah, they
Guys,
are.
What?
guys, okay, I know I had Eagles in my bracket, but the Giants, Dexter Lawrence set a postseason record, or no, a season. He had the most pressures out of any defensive lineman this whole season, 8. Leonard Williams was 7 pressures. That's second in the NFL. This whole season, nobody had 8, and Dexter Lawrence had it. I mean, the Eagles should be scared. Hurts is hurt. Our run defense is stepping up. This is going to come down to the last second. It's going to come down to the last second. Giants are going to win.
And you're
are going.
sure? Do you believe this, John? You can hold on to your initial thought.
Are you asking how sure am I?
Yeah. Because you had them before, and now it's changed, and I'm just thinking maybe it's recency
Well, I needed
bias.
to see the Giants play a playoff game.
who
Without seeing
would've
them
thought?
play, I'd be like, all right, Eagles.
Yeah, but the Eagles
probably.
didn't play there because they had a
Yeah,
bye.
who would have
That's-
thought having a first round bye hurt them? Like no one, like people forget in one
Hurts is
week that
hurt.
the Eagles are the Eagles.
Hurts is,
He's not that
Hurts is
hurt.
living up
He's
to his
practicing
name.
in full.
Unfortunately, he's living up to his name.
He is practicing in
Stop
full.
that.
Like literally, there's no
This-
rest. He's perfectly.
This
fine.
happened when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl because when the Falcons advanced with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. People said that the Falcons were the first team ever with a second round bye in regards to the Eagles playing poorly. It's just for some reason
Giants
I think
are the second team ever to have a second.
Oh,
round.
no, I think it's going to be a shootout. The disrespect is not warranted.
Yeah, this is
Wait,
like
so-
hate
people-
the
wait, so-
Eagles
I
week.
think people
You-
think the Eagles are like the Vikings a little bit in terms of a great record.
No, people.
weaker
All right,
season.
you're being very pessimistic. People really like the Eagles. Everybody thinks the Eagles are going to win this game.
Not on
you
this
used to, John,
podcast.
and then you
They've
turn
been
to the
getting
dark side.
slammed. Yeah, you.
Wait,
I know
so
you were-
who
you have
has
the Giants
who has
flag behind
Giants?
you
Does
in
anybody
the
else
jersey.
have Giants?
No, it
I
was
do
just
not.
me and you that had them. Oh well, in the bracket.
Jonathan.
Oh, in the bracket.
In the bracket.
I mean,
But
right
yeah,
now
so
I'm
you're-
Giants.
John
Right
and
now
Jonathan,
you're
you
going
guys
with
have them.
Giants.
Yeah. The Giants are gonna win. I'm
So
confident.
this. Wait
no.
a minute. John, didn't you have Eagles going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
So wait,
Wait, so it's not even just this game, actually. I forgot.
My Super Bowl is going to be right.
what is going on?
Giants
right
are going
now?
to win this game. I'm telling you.
So what is this worth?
Bengals
Nothing.
No, that's why I was a little okay. So you believe in? I know you're a Giants.
So
fan,
you don't
So
get points
Bills.
in the.
So I think
you
are
don't
we
get
doing the
points in the
Bills Bengals
bracket.
now? I think Bengals are going to beat the Bills.
God. Yeah,
too.
okay, that's what you had. That's what you had in your bracket. So if
Now we
Eagles
don't
win,
know.
you get no points. You get no points.
My Super
no
Bowl's
points
win-
awarded to Gryffindor.
Yeah.
My-
So now you don't get points if the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. You sure you want to stand by this belief?
When did we submit the brackets?
We
You want to
submitted it
challenge
last
the ruling
week.
on the field?
So
All right. You're a
anyway,
Giants fan, though. I
Bengals are going to win the
understand.
Super Bowl, so you guys can F off.
If it was Giants
all
or
right.
it's Bengals
So
in the final,
so
who
you're
would
keeping the Bengals pick at least.
Well, hypothetically, while we can hypothetical, I don't know, hypothesize about this. It's not a word. Giants, Bengals. Who would you pick?
Bengals.
Still,
Bengals are winning the Super Bowl no matter who they play.
okay.
Okay,
Jonathan
so
shakes his head. Okay.
so we got Bengals for John, Bengals for Jonathan, Bills for Caleb, Bills for me. And then the Cowboys 49ers. Everyone has got 49ers except for
No,
Jonathan.
Jonathan
You got
has
the Cowboys.
49ers, I think, too. Right?
No, I have the Cowboys.
Not even deep down. Not even deep down. You're like,
Can you imagine?
maybe.
After all of that, he goes, yeah, we're going to lose.
All right.
That's
Jonathan,
so
you're
close.
the only one that picks Cowboys.
Yeah, I want to be right in all my
You're
picks.
gonna be the only
I don't know if
one
we're doing
right.
the points things too. I'm gonna be the only one right in all of these picks. Cowboys,
Doesn't make me
Giants,
nervous whenever one of us
Bengals,
is the lone wolf.
Chiefs.
I'm going to be really scared if the Cowboys win to come on this podcast next Tuesday.
Oh, it's gonna
Like,
happen.
I'm actually.
I don't know if
America-
if
I'm
the,
ready for
if the
that.
America-
Cowboys can beat the 49ers, they can beat anybody.
You saw this last night. We can beat anybody. You
No,
saw how
no.
good our offense-
No.
You took
Buccaneers
that a
are
little
not-
too far.
But no,
No.
I'd almost.
You give him an inch.
I
and he takes
literally,
him
I
off.
said
No,
if you
no,
beat
no.
the best team in the playoffs, you could beat anybody else. And you said we just beat the worst team, so we can beat.
No.
anybody.
Look at how we played. Look at how we played.
Oh
We can
my
beat
God.
It's the
anybody
worst team, though.
the way we play.
Jonathan,
No, it was-
can
it
you
was the
take a
worst
compliment or no? I mean, I'm trying to
They're the
help
worst
you.
team. Now they're the worst team. Brady was supposed to be a legend. 7-0 against the Cowboys, and now he's the worst team.
If the,
See what I'm saying?
No
guys?
one said that.
There's always something
I
against the
I
Cowboys.
agree with what John said. That if the Cowboys can beat the 49ers, it's. I'm not saying they're going to lose against. I'm not going to say they're going to win against the Eagles, but like the 49ers match up so well and they're so good that this would be like it could be anyone's game between
Yeah.
the NFC East. If between if the Cowboys were to advance and beat the 49ers, I'd be looking really closely at the spread at the Eagles, Giants, almost like who's just going to show up, who's going to make the big play. It's just good old fashioned game of inches, But if they don't, then I think you come back to reality of matchups and schematics and things like that. But credit. We'll give you credit if they beat the 49ers.
We shall see. All right, that wraps it up for this podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep an eye on our Instagram and our TikTok at Dornbait Podcast. We may be going live one more time, either Saturday or Sunday for one of those games, as we did last week. That was super fun. We did it on YouTube, and John went live on TikTok. So you're going to be seeing a lot of news about it if we decide to do so. But thank you guys so much again for watching, and thanks so much for the love on the last video. The bracket video got over 1,000 views, so we really, really appreciate that. That was awesome, really great to see. I wanted to get to 1,000 before this next video, so it did, and we really appreciate everybody's support. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys next week.